General Lamin Bojang blames Barra's government for surging crime rates in the country. Nelson Mandela's home now transformed into a boutique hotel.
With an estimated
and
over
Nigeria's smartphone shipments grew 37% in second quarter of 2021. This and more coming on the World Today newscast. Hello, and this is the World Today newscast with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. The recent surge in the number of crimes and criminal activities ranging from murder and armed robbery to rape and other dubious acts in the Gambia has become a concern for every citizen, as many feel insecure even in their own houses. However, the party leader of Alliance for National Reorientation and Development, General Lamin Bojang, blamed the situation on the government's negligence of the plight of the youths. Nesiste has the rest of that.
Despite the fact that police stations are mounted in almost every community across the Gambia, increasing crime rates continue to take its course within the country, as most of these police stations lack proper training and equipment to be able to offer a rapid response to crisis. In an interview with iAfrica TV, General Lamin Bojang says the surging crime rate among young people in the Gambia is because the government has neglected its responsibility towards the youth.
The government is neglecting their responsibilities. Let me put it this way so that people can understand. I'm a politician. If I speak this way, somebody will say that you are politicizing this whole thing. I'm not politicizing. You see, it is not the fault of the young people to do what they are doing. You see, the transition between adolescence to adulthood, there are a lot of things that happens there. And if one does not put programs or policies or guidelines or rules that will help young people to transit or to transit that particular period, it's always chaotic. It's always detrimental. And that is what we are facing now.
He added that even the fishery sector where young people engage in for their livelihood is taken by Senegalese. Mr. Bojang stated that he is of the belief that if young people are fully employed, these crimes could have been averted.
We have a serious problem. We have a serious problem because government has not put anything in place. One, it is not employing young people. Two, there are no programs that will commit them or engage them. There are no other, measures that will deter them from involving in crimes.
He says the ANRD-led government will fill the leadership gap by making policies that will reorientate the development activities of the country.
Our role is in our name. Alliance, we have to come together. All of us, we have to come together for national reorientation. The direction that our country is taking is wrong. That is not where we can find our glories. That is not where we can find our development. We have to come together and reorientate our development activities. We have to make sure that we redirect the direction of this country so that we can develop. So my country is going to make sure that we empower we empower the young people. How are we going to empower the young people? Because if you don't empower them, it is the government that has the wherewithal to be able to make sure that the young people are committed, the young people are involved in gainful activities. This comes from policies, it comes from rules, it comes from laws, it comes from the leadership that you are providing. So that is what ANRD stands for, and that is what ANRD is yearning for, and that is what ANRD is asking for.
The Gambian National Guard launched an operation called Restore Sanity to complement the efforts of the Gambia Police Force's Operation Zero initiative, all geared towards reducing criminal activities in the country. But despite the government's efforts, Gambians feel that the security in the country is relapsing in recent months. For Africa News, Nesise.
General Lamin Bojang blames the surging criminal activities on the negligence of the government towards the youths. Now, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres earlier today presented his annual report during the 76th United Nations General Assembly. The report contains summaries of the progress and some of the lapses of the organization. Our Usman Jatta was following this session online, and he now tells us more in this report.
The United Nations General Assembly is the main policy-making organ of the organization. The Assembly meets in regular sessions from September to December each year, where leaders would discuss specific issues through dedicated agenda items, which lead to the adoption of resolutions. The Secretary General of the United Nations Assembly, Antonio Guterres, addressing the 76th UN General Assembly, sets the alarm for the world to wake up as the world grapples with the most devastating health crisis of the 21st century.
I'm here to sound the alarm. The world must wake up. We are on the edge of an abyss and moving in the wrong direction. Our world has never been more threatened or more divided. We face the greatest cascade of crises in our lifetimes. The COVID-19 pandemic has supersized glaring inequalities.
The United Nations General Assembly makes key decisions for the UN. It appoints the Secretary General on the recommendation of the Security Council and electing non-permanent members of the Security Council, and equally approves the organization's budget. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the UN General Assembly has been carrying out its work since 2020 via novel means of guarantee business continuity and mitigate the spread of the virus. The pandemic is not the only issue the world faces. Racism, intolerance, inequality, climate change, poverty, hunger, armed conflict, and other ills remain global challenges. All these challenges call for a global action, and the General Assembly is a critical opportunity for all to come together and chart a course for the future. Usman Jatta, iAfrica News.
Usman Jatta there reports as the UN Secretary General presents his annual report during the 76th session of the UN General Assembly. Now, the presidential home of former head of state Nelson Mandela has been converted into a boutique hotel called Sanctuary Mandela. The house has been refurbished and is expected to cater to world leaders and people who aspire to inspiration of the global icon. The hotel opened on 1st August and features 9 rooms that accommodate up to 18 guests, retreat spaces for reflection, and a personal connection to the Madiba's private life. Details in this report.
Sanctuary Mandela is for anyone wanting a glimpse into Madiba's life after 27 years in prison. His first home in Soweto was turned into a museum. His second home here in Houghton, Johannesburg, was where Mandela spent his last years.
He lived here when he left Soweto after he was released. He also lived here, part of his presidency, and even post his presidency, just before he moved into the other house on 12th Avenue with Mama Gracia Machel.
The Nelson Mandela Foundation collaborated with the Motsamai Tourism Group to transform the home into a boutique hotel.
We wanted to create something not quite a museum, but something that also embodies the spirit of the person of Nelson Mandela and bring it to life. And that's really how we thought we should do a place of reflection, which is what we call this facility. But it's really accommodation, 9 bedrooms, very luxuriously done. It also has a conferencing facility, and we've got a lovely restaurant called Insights, where we also have Sis Oli, who used to be President Mandela's chef, working together with the kitchen team to really infuse a complete Mandela experience into the food even.
This hotel is simple yet elegant. It has been beautifully decorated with modern touches, but it does give you a feeling like you're going back in time into the history of Nelson Mandela.
We've curated a whole story. It's a journey through Madiba's life. We want you, when you come through, to live in every single room and have a different story or a different take from your stay. It's an experience, so anyone who comes in must leave here with a head full of knowledge.
The walls adorn art to capture the essence of who Madiba was and the various periods of his life.
We kept the facade exactly the same because it is a heritage site. And so we kept the main face of the whole building exactly the same. The window paneling is still the original window paneling. We just had it refurbished. And then we've got 3 original rooms from the house as well. Everything else has been built on.
Every detail of this boutique hotel is designed to deliver history and mindful experiences. The staff go out of their way to make you feel like you're a guest of Madiba himself.
That report shows one of Nelson Mandela's home there in South Africa now being transformed into a boutique hotel. We will now go with a quick break and we'll be right back with the rest of the news on the wall today. Stay tuned.
The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3- and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and presence in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back. You're still watching the World Today newscast, and now to the rest of our stories. Africa's biggest economy has seen an increase in the shipment of smartphones in the second quarter of 2021, according to the latest insights from the International Data Corporation (IDC). After a year of unprecedented market conditions, Africa's smartphone market is showing signs of recovery from the economic damage inflicted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Details in this report.
With an estimated over 100 million smartphone users and still counting, it's really not a surprise that the IDC data shows Nigeria tops smartphone shipments into Africa. Ziggy Ibe has been dealing in ICT products, including smartphones in Nigeria's biggest ICT market, the Computer Village in Lagos, for several years now. He says the demand for smartphones is rapidly increasing.
Some of the smartphones demand is basically because of their video quality, because of their connectivity ability to connect to your business partners out there. Okay, so yes, the smaller phones are still in the market, but their demands are becoming too low because there's nothing much they could do as compared to the smartphones.
ICT experts say price is at the heart of the increasing demand for smartphones in Nigeria, and they attribute that to cheaper smartphones from Chinese brands, which are now the market leader in the country.
We've been able to discount the prices of the highly known brands, and I don't want to mention their names, by a factor of 45% in terms of pricing. And this has made it accessible to those that are previously feature-owned phone users to the smartphone users. And since it's their first time of using the smartphones, they obviously are very price conscious. And because the Chinese type phones and devices have been able to address the affordability, there's been a noticed ramp up in the number of smart devices that are in country.
One Chinese brand that has quickly established itself as the dominant player in Nigeria's smartphone market is Transsion, with its popular brands Tecno and Infinix. eBay says the demand for the brands is indeed high.
Tecno and Infinix are taking the lead because they are affordable, okay? And they can equally give you what you can do with the little amount you use in getting them. It's evidential, you know, in all the places you go.
With Nigeria set to roll out the 5G network, ICT experts are forecasting increased broadband penetration and smartphone usage in the country.
It means that we have to spend more on Forex, which is not such a good thing for Nigeria. Obviously, if we are able to support and promote local brands, and I'm referring to Tecno, for instance, and AfriOne, then there'll be less dependence or requirements for Forex to be used to import these phones. So what we need to do is really establish locally assembled or locally manufactured devices in Nigeria. We have a very large population and it's going to continue to grow.
As smartphone sales continue to rise, demand for feature phones, which used to dominate the market here, is dropping. The IDC data shows feature phone shipment into the country dropped by 6.4% in the second quarter of 2021. So it might just be a matter of time before smartphones completely take over the market here.
Nigeria Day has seen an increase in the shipment of smartphones in the second quarter of 2021 as Africa's smartphone market showing signs of recovery from the pandemic. Now, the Central Bank of Egypt announced that remittances from Egyptians abroad rose to their highest ever annual level last year, even if the pandemic weighed on economic activities worldwide. The latest data shows a 13.2% increase in remittances in 2020 and 2021 alone compared to the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Details in this report.
A new record has been set in Egypt as remittances climbed to an unprecedented $31.4 billion. According to the official statistics agency CAPMAS, there are 9.5 million registered Egyptians working abroad. Most of the country's remittances come from expatriates working in the Arab Gulf nations, followed by Europe and the United States. What was unexpected is the surge of remittances in spite of the economic recession that hit the global economies since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. And remittances have even exceeded the pre-pandemic levels. For some experts, the spike in transfers reflects confidence in the Egyptian reform policies that allow expatriates to invest back home.
The transfers of the Egyptians are done in different manners. The first one, of course, everybody knows that we have a very large plan for building new cities, specialized cities. So every Egyptian who could live overseas would like to have either an apartment or a place. Interest rates on the Egyptian pounds are very attractive. So Egyptians living overseas, they are transferring their money, convert them into pounds and get on them decent returns. As well, all the instrument which has been launched by the Egyptian government would have been bonds, debentures or others. As well, Egyptians living overseas would like to invest in this.
Expatriates have been encouraged by Egypt's strong economic showing, being one of only a handful of nations that posted positive growth rates amid the pandemic-led slowdown. The record high remittances have also had a positive impact on the economy, making up for the sharp drop in other major sources of hard currency such as tourism.
This is witnessed by the decrease of the level of unemployment, the decrease of the level of inflation, the decrease of the deficit in the budget. So on all economic aspects, on economic indices, it's on the positive way.
A World Economic Forum report says remittances now account for over 31% of Egypt's net foreign reserves. The government hopes this upward trend will continue, so it can boost recovery efforts from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Now, Egypt records an increase in the annual remittances from its citizens abroad compared to the previous years. Now, that does it for the edition of the World Today newscast. I am your presenter, Mariam Cham. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.
Star GSM has new arrivals of home appliances with 2 years warranty and a promo